is the one that's going to have their best performance on the track. Really can't control the weather, can't control those things, and everybody is in the same boat.
So here's our list of competitors. Wearing hip 1 from Chile, Michelle Varas. Hip 2 from Peru, Lady Guerra. Hip 3 from Bolivia, Stefany Coronado. Hip 4 from Ecuador, Carla Jaramillo. Hip 5 from Peru, Evelyn Inga. Wearing hip 6 from Chile, Anastasia Sanzana. Hip 7 from the U.S., Katie Micta. Hip 8 from Canada, Mandy Roach. Hip 9 from Colombia, Daniela Pastrano. Wearing hip 10 from Colombia, Yudi Hernandez. And hip 11 from the United States, Annalise Cisneros. Coming in here, there's a couple of race walkers with significantly better seed times and significantly better experience than the rest. And I think we're going to see a battle among those two. That would be Coronado and Jaramillo. And as expected, that's Stefany Coronado of Bolivia to an early lead. Right now, Ms. Jaramillo, as expected, leading the next pack. There's definitely a rhythm to this event. Smooth leg flow. You have to have one heel on the ground at all times, and you have to have that front leg straight when it lands. So they put their heel up, put the foot out, and you can see their front knee is straight. They do get possibility of yellow cards, but if you get 3 red cards, you are disqualified.
There's judges all around the track looking, making sure that no one's running or taking, an advantage. But you can't get a yellow card 3 times from the same judge. It has to be from different judges. So, as Adam put it the last time, you can't have one judge that doesn't like one athlete and gives you all yellow cards 3 times in a row. So the athletes, sometimes you'll see them get that yellow card and it will unnerve them just a little bit. There's been situations where athletes are competing, they have 2 yellow cards and they need 1 more. That can definitely change the complexion of their race.
So 140 for the first lap for Coronado, 145 for Jaramillo. Coronado did get her PR of 46:42.06 at the World Junior Meet last year. Jaramillo's PRs from that same meet, 47:59.90. And Daniela Pastrana of Colombia last year race walked 48:54 on a road race. It's so interesting to watch good race walkers, the way their hips flow. This is Stefany Coronado. 3:21 through 800 meters. Romero 3:32 for 800 meters. But as expected, it's Coronado and Jaramillo.
In the early stages of this race, Stefany Coronado is out in front, followed by Jaramillo in second place.
Canada has such a rich tradition in this event. At the Pan Am Games last month now, since today's the 1st of August, in Toronto, Evan Dunphy and, Inaki Gomez were 1 and 2. So Canada had the gold and the silver in the men's event.
for the first kilometer.
We'll be seeing those two gentlemen at the World Championships in a few weeks' time.
4:14 for the first kilometer for Stefany Coronado. Which is a very good pace. So even though Jaramillo is not that far behind in PR, Coronado's just out to a very fast pace right now. The meet record is 48:15.78, and that could definitely be in threat today. 5:05 through 1,200 meters for Coronado.
And Coronado looking to be the first ever gold medalist at these Pan American Junior Championships.
Jaramillo 5:20. Lady Guerra 5:22.92. Evelyn Inga 5:23.23. There's your top four. Even the next group is on a good pace, 44-45 minutes. Now this is a fast pace. But to give you an idea, the world junior record is 42:47.25 set last year at the world junior meet. The world junior leader this year, 43:36.88. So we're looking at possibly a very nice PR today for Coronado if she can keep this pace up. Now she's going to be watched very closely by the race walk judges. You know, they stick their foot straight up and it looks like they turn their foot in. All the race walkers I've seen seem to have, they pronate. .6:52.04 for Coronado. For 4 laps. Jaramillo is in 7:11 as the lead's been extended from 15 to 19 seconds. Pastrana of Colombia, 7:16.89 is in third. And Hernandez of Colombia, fourth, 7:17.07, followed by Guerra. As they keep switching around as to who's leading, Inga is in sixth currently.
Coronado just passed the Canadian Mandy Roach, who has a personal best of 1 hour, 12 minutes. Balmy 16, not balmy, but a cool 16 degrees Celsius here at Footfield, the University of Alberta. You know, these athletes are putting themselves through so much punishment, so it's nice to have the weather on their side. If not as far as the schedule, but as far as the temperatures. Makes these 20 plus laps left to go a little bit more bearable.
Stefany Coronado is at 8:40.
Coronado rolls along 8:39.92 for 2,000 meters. She slowed down just a little bit. She's still putting out 147, 48 laps. So she's still fairly consistent under 150, but she started out at 140 and then 141. So she's slowed down a little bit. She's still well under. Well under the pace that would be required to break the meet record. Sara Emilio's all by herself also at 9:04.92, followed by Padrana of Colombia 9:10.38. Hernandez of Colombia 9:10.65. Guerra at 9:10.77. So a nice little pack of three that at this point in time they are in the bronze medal positions. In contrast to other events, quite often medalists will even get DQ'd. So no matter what position you're in, this is not necessarily the final position.
That's a good point to make. That's right. As the judges are watching, their hawk eyes are going to be looking for anybody who doesn't have the proper technique, which Adam described just a while ago. So you might never be out of it. But what Coronado has just basically thrown down the gauntlet. She has led this thing from the gun, from the beginning. And you can tell this is a strategy that she has thought of, that she has planned out, and is trying to execute right now.
I'm not certain if anyone else has broken 150 for a lap. I think in the very first lap, the 2 through 5 broke 150, but every single lap, Coronado has gone under 1 minute and 50 seconds. And she has slowed down, but still no one's even close to what she's doing for each lap. As she did 149.21 this last lap. At the same time, Jaramillo 154.07, although Padrano of Colombia did catch up a little bit to her, walked 153.78 on that last lap. So right now it's Coronado, Jaramillo, Padrana, Guerra, Hernandez, Inga, as we can see, Coronado. There's Jaramillo in second. And then there's the pack behind her, as now Pastrano is trying to catch her. And here's Coronado. You can see different race walking styles. Much more of a flow for Coronado. And sometimes you'll see longer steps, like we could see in the girl behind her. That's Anastasia Sanzana. Has the shorter legs, longer step. And then Coronado has the very rapid turnover, which is also quite common. Different styles for different sizes. Coronado's style is working very well for her. She's looking very good. Certainly she's looking at a personal record to break her record from last year, 46:42.06. We just saw Jaramillo in second. And then in third, Pastrano. Here's Coronado. Clearly in first. At this point in time, she has a 32-second lead on her competition. There's our Canadian walker, Mandy Roach. She's almost a lap behind. There's Annalise Cisneros of the United States. And there's Coronado coming around the corner. She's lapping walkers currently, as her pace is significantly better than everyone else in the competition. She is a quality walker on 8th at the World Junior Meet last year. Kind of gives evidence, but clearly she was a year younger than many of the walkers. 14:13, which is her slowest lap of the day at 152.60. We saw a little bit of that last year in the women's 3,000. Erin took it out, stretched it out. Everyone kind of collapsed under her pressure. And Coronado's kind of doing the same thing. Here's Coronado first. Karen Jaramillo is hitting the finish line, so you can see it's almost a half a lap lead. Start on third. But this is Coronado. Dean 08. She's about ready to lap Katie Mikta. Her last kilometer had been, she was at 13:60, and that was 4:37.
No changes in the order. Currently, Stefany Coronado is in front, followed by
So at 3,200 meters was Coronado, followed by Jaramillo and Pastrano. As you can see the significant lead. Their graphic. Coronado is now passing Katie Mikta. They both have the same length of stride. It's just a faster turnover. And there's our penalty board currently. 2 red cards, it looks like, for Evelyn Inga, Peru. She had been up in the pack behind our first 2, but then fell back because I think she's a little bit concerned about getting a 3rd red card and being disqualified. So she's in 6th right now and falling back from the pack. As things are starting to spread out now after people are getting hit with red cards, yellow cards, just athletes obviously don't want to get DQ'd from the competition, as Coronado is way out in front. There's Annalise Cisneros, top U.S. walker right now. There comes Coronado.
Just see that grimace on her face, how much she's pushing her body, how much she wants this win. Megan has lapped a few athletes so far, definitely the class of the field, and showing no signs of letting up. 16 more laps to go.
So Coronado's tracking down Annalise Cisneros. I'm certain there's a great opportunity for Annalise. She's just been race walking for 4 years, had 1 international competition last year in the duel between the U.S. and Canada. So this is another opportunity for her to gain experience. The native of Elgin, Illinois, Elgin High School in Chicago, Illinois. This is an opportunity to, get some experience with different judges too. 18:01. That was 1:53 on that lap, 55 on that last lap. As Perdita pointed out earlier, she's definitely feeling the strain of this fast pace.
I feel for her having to do a little bit more work, having to go around all these bodies. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but there's a little bit more effort that she's going to have to put in to kind of go wide and get around the athletes that she's passing.
And she's definitely lost some turnover, you can tell. Still in second is Jaramillo, followed by Pastrana, as they're only less than 7 seconds apart. And that's pretty significant still in a race walk. Kara's in 4th right now. It looks like we have a DQ. Not certain of it, but I think Evelyn Inga just got her 3rd red card, based upon the color we can see. Yep, she's just walking off the course right now. Fortunately, she's done for the day. They've sent her off at the start of the 100-meter. So unfortunately, she's gone. With 2 cards right now.
Anastasia Senzana of Chile sitting with 2 cards. So one more and she'll have the same fate as the athlete from Peru, Evelyn Inga.
Here's Annalise Cisneros, and there's Coronado. 19:57.51, 1:55.92 for Coronado. She has 14 laps to go. She did clear 6,000 meters in 18:02. And that kilometer had been a 4:46 kilometer. So definitely slowing down. But she'll still showing great effort. You can see the look on her face. The grimace. Here's Annalise Cisneros of the United States. Cisneros is currently in 6th place. And Maria Micton in 7th. There's our second, currently in 2nd, Jaramillo of Ecuador. She is followed by Michelle Veras of Chile, who's been lapped. You can see here Daniela Pastrano, who's in 3rd. This is Mandy Roach, who's in 10th. And Susanna Anastasia, who's in 9th right now. We just saw Yudi Hernandez of Colombia in 5th currently. As Lady Guerra is in 4th, followed by Hernandez in 5th. Pastrana's definitely put some distance between herself and Guerra and Hernandez, about 18 seconds. Here's Coronado, our leader. Coming to 5,000 meters when she reaches the 200-meter start here. .22:51. 4:49 in that kilometer.
See her keep checking her watch at that halfway point. You saw her look down. She'll be able to track whether she's slowing down, whether she needs to pick it up. But right now you can see the punishment that her body's going through. Has lost a little bit of her frequency there, but definitely looks like she's just willing her body to continue on.
There's Katie Micta. You can see the strain on her face. Then you can see Pastrana, who's in 3rd right now, followed by Michelle Veras of Chile, currently at 8th. Anastasia Sanzana in 9th. And that was Yudi Hernandez in 5th. And she's followed by Lady Guerra. So Hernandez just passed Guerra and moved into 4th, as they're now walking together again. Coronado. Just as a guess, 47 minutes is the pace that Stefany Coronado's on right now. So 47 minutes, looks like it won't be a PR. She's slowed down significantly. So 5,400 meters for Coronado, just completed. And she was ambitious today. I mean, she went out in 5K in 22:51, but now she's slowed to a pace that will put her in around 47 minutes. And there's always opportunities when you have races like this to try and test yourself, see what you can do, see how long you can last at a pace, because that's the pace that you want to be at. You want to be challenging the world junior leader at 43:36. You want to be in there to have a shot of medaling. And so obviously she took a shot at racing at around 44-minute pace earlier. And Coronado definitely has a large lead at this point.
Making a move to catch up with Lady Guerra for the fourth place position.
157 on that lap. She's at 25:47 with 11 laps to go.
Remaining the same. Stefany Coronado leading away from Daniela
There's Coronado.
Pastrano.
She gets around to the start line again. She'll be at 6K, just 4K to go. Here's Annalise Cisneros. Annalise in 6th with 12 laps to go. This right here is Pastrana, Columbia, currently in 3rd, followed by Katie Mikta, who's currently in 7th. And she's been lapped by Pastrana. With Jaramillo not that far ahead. She's just past Annalise Cisneros. Here's Coronado, our leader. Now it's about the grit and determination we talked about yesterday for Coronado. She's got to finish this off. She probably realizes that PR is not in the cards right now, but obviously, even though she is 100 meters ahead of her competition, she's got to finish this off. And there's our second racer in second place right now, Carla Jaramillo of Ecuador.
As I look at these race walkers, not a gross or big range of motion that their body goes through, but I look at their knees and I look at their hips, and I gotta think that there's some repetitive force injuries that happens there. So you gotta have a really good physiotherapist. You gotta really have a great team that's gonna be able to get your body back to full function when you're done a competition like this.
We just saw Daniela Pastrana in 3rd. She is around 50 meters behind Jaramillo. Coronado just completed 6,000 meters in 27:43. 4:52 as she continues to slow in her kilometers. And actually, Jaramillo is racing at a faster pace. So Coronado 156.70, Jaramillo 155.15 on that last lap. But still, she's 39 seconds behind Coronado. She's a little bit worried, I think, about Pastrano, but Pastrano is in good space. There we are. The squiggly lines, I believe, are cautions, but the arrows are red cards. So we've already lost Evelyn Inga, and right now
Anastasia Sanzana of Chile has 2 cautions, so 1 more and she's out. But interestingly enough, our leader, Coronado, is perfect across the board. speaks to her flawless technique. And yes, she's slowing down a little bit more, but has definitely put it down in this race. Efficient and determined to get there.
6,400 meters for Coronado. 29, 40, 59, 156.89 on that lap. There's only, Jaramillo has only picked up a little bit over a second on each lap. That's still actually about 1.7. That's still 17 seconds. And she has right now a 39-second gap. So she's going to have to pick it up significantly in order to have even a chance of catching Coronado. We'll watch that closely and just see how the pacing is going. Here's Coronado. She's still got around a 100-meter lead. And that's Jaramillo. 154.19. She is picking it up. 2.77 seconds faster than Coronado with 9 laps to go. But if you calculate that out, that's still only about 27 seconds max if it gets to 3. And there's a 36-second lead right now. There's Cisneros, the U.S., currently in 6th. Pastrana, currently in 3rd. She walked a 2-minute lap, that last lap. Yuri Hernandez of Colombia is walking about the same pace, walking about 2 minutes per lap. And here's Coronado again. Reaches finish line, 8 laps to go. It's coming up on 7,000 meters when she reaches the 200 start.
And here's your leader, Stefany Coronado, crossing the finish line.
156.89 on her last lap. 158.51 on this lap. She continues to slow. She's paying for that early pace. Here we see Jaramillo. There's Coronado making that corner there, and there's Jaramillo. She's probably hearing from her coach that she's still got a chance at this. And she seems very smooth and comfortable out there. 154.38. 4 seconds she picked up on her. She's only 32 seconds now behind, and there's 8 laps to go. So that pace would put her ahead of Coronado if she continues that way. Coronado, I'm certain, understands that Jaramillo is catching her, even with a significant lead. 32:35 about for that kilometer. .452 on that kilometer. We're now at 31:39. You can see with 3,200 to go, it's giving you an idea of the lead is actually closing on a much more rapid pace. So Jaramillo is making a move on Coronado. She looks very smooth and very comfortable out there. Looks like she's in less distress than Coronado. Coronado's just trying to hold on. Pastrano's making nothing on the gap that Jaramillo has for second. Here's Coronado. Reaches the finish line. She'll have 7 laps to go. 158 for Coronado. She has a little bit faster lap than the previous. And here comes Jaramillo down the straightaway. Let's see how much she's closed of the gap. There's Coronado ahead. So 3.6 seconds Jaramillo picked up on that lap. She's only 28 seconds behind with 7 laps to go. Here's Coronado. She's not flying away from the other race walkers like she had been earlier. She's walking right now with Lede Guerra, who's currently in 5th. Guerra's got a 9-second gap on Annalise Cisneros. Looks like Yudi Hernandez just picked up a second red card. And there's our race walker currently in 2nd, Carla Jaramillo of Ecuador. You look at her in contrast to Coronado, and there's 2 race walkers completely feeling differently about this race. And she's staring at Coronado going, I think I can catch you.
She does look determined. Again, very different styles. You'll see, you know, if you look at Coronado, more like a piston, not any real wasted movements. And then you look at the athlete in 2nd. Looks like she's leaking energy here and there, a little bit more wild with her legs and her arm movement. But looks more relaxed in the face, I'll be honest.
35-34 with 6 to go. 157.09. I think somebody told her she's catching you. You got to pick up the pace. So she is picking up the pace. Last 2 laps were faster than the previous lap. So she sped up each of the last 2 laps, knowing that she's got a threat behind her. That's Pastrana, who's currently in 3rd. She's about coming around the corner. Just hitting the finish line. We just saw Jaramillo, who continues to pick up time on Coronado, but not as fast. So 154.44 for her lap. Coronado 157.09. Correction here, 156.13. So only a 0.96 second closing of the gap. There's Coronado, and you can see in the far background there, just coming around the corner in the yellow top, Jaramillo. So you can see 2 racers at one time, Coronado and Jaramillo, as Jaramillo is definitely trying to track her down, but Coronado has picked up the pace again. There, right there in front of us is Lede Guerra. Guerra's in 5th. Then we see Michelle Veras currently in 8th, and Anastasia Sanzana, number 6, currently in 9th. And there's Jaramillo, Carla Jaramillo. Less than a 100-meter gap now, but she's not closing as fast, and I think she ran a little bit of gas on that last lap. I think when you're pointing out how rough she looked, that was her slowest lap in the last few laps. It's definitely, she's starting to strain from trying to catch Coronado. There's Coronado. When she reaches the finish line, she'll have 5 laps to go. So we're at 8,000 meters. 37:32.54, 158.29 on that lap, 4:57 on the kilometer. Here's Daniela Pastrana in 3rd. You can see behind her Annalise Cisneros, who's 1 lap down to Pastrana. She's currently in 6th. And there's our 2nd place, currently in 2nd place, Jaramillo, followed by the 2 Chilean race walkers, Michelle Varas and Anastasia Sanzana. In that order, here's Coronado. You can tell definitely how much pain this is. Andy's definitely showing on her face. Coronado, Katie Mikta, this is tough. There's a lot of steps in this race. It's 10K, but it's about twice, I would say it's close to twice as many steps as you would if you ran a 10K. As Jaramillo, 2 flat 41 on her last lap. Now it's almost a 30-second lead again for Coronado. I think Jaramillo ran out of gas. She lost, as you were saying, Perdita, lost a little bit of form there. And I think that's it. As long as Coronado can just keep on race walking, because she actually took some more time out of Jaramillo for the first time in at least a mile. There's Jaramillo in 2nd. She's not looking as much anymore at Coronado. You can see with 5 laps to go, we just saw that Coronado at 37:32. There's Coronado with 4 laps to go. Got to keep her pace. It looks like she's definitely picked up her pace a bit. Coronado's starting to pull away again. 156.32 on that lap. It's been a while since she broke 157. Probably at least a couple kilometers. This is Carla Jaramillo of Ecuador in second currently. Followed by the 2 Chilean walkers. Actually, the order is reversed. You can see them right there now. It's Anastasia Sanzana and Michelle Varas as they're 8th and 9th overall. There's Coronado. Now we can see Judy Hernandez is in 4th, followed by Coronado's. Hernandez is about to be lapped by Coronado. Yeah, she definitely looks a lot better now, doesn't she? She looks a lot smoother. Yet.
Oh, when you see the finish line is just a few laps away, I think that's going to wake her up and put some pep in her step.
There's Mandy Roach, and there's our race walker currently in second, Carla Jaramillo. As Letty Guerra is holding on to Jaramillo, I think she's trying to get her to help pull her along, as Guerra hasn't lost anything. This is Michelle Varas, currently 9th, and there's Coronado with 3 laps to go. She just passed Annalise Cisneros. Coronado, yeah, she's thinking. I think there's a little bit of motivation there, a little of excitement to finish this up and get these last 3 laps done. Won't be a record or a PR, season best possibly, but you can't be upset with a Pan Am Junior Championship. She can keep holding on at her pace. There's Michelle Varas. Actually, I'm sorry, Daniela Pastrana 3rd. This is Coronado. She's pretty much had this strain on her face since 3K. It's been tough for her. She went out in a fast pace, and she slowed down, but now she's picked it up again. I think with that feeling the finish line is almost there. You just finished 9,000 kilometers.
I think she knows nobody's going to catch her. No one else is going to be a factor when it comes to this gold medal. But that hasn't really stopped her. She's still determined to either get a season's best or a record. Whatever her goal is, she's still executing this race on the track. And to me, that speaks volumes, that she had a plan, she had a mission, and she's seeing it through right till the end. No laying off the jets with 4 laps, actually 3 laps soon to go.
It'll be a track season best for her. She's done 47.05 on the road. Looking up at that sign, seeing 2 laps to go, it's got to be pretty exciting for her. Just 2 laps to go for Coronado. As her previous lap was 154.70. Armio 159.54. We're seeing now Yuri Hernandez and Annalise Cisneros. Hernandez in 4th, Cisneros in 5th. As Lady Guerra has fallen back. There we are with Carla Jaramillo is in 2nd. This is Katie Mikta. Mikta's in 6th. This is Lady Guerra, who's now dropped down to 6th. I mean 7th. It's both Cisneros and Mikta past Guerra. There's Coronado. Last lap, 154.42. So 2 in a row in the 154s. Jaramillo picked it up to 157.64. As right now, as long as no one gets DQ'd, I think it's a pretty solid first 3. Even Pastrana has a 58-second lead going to this last lap. I mean, this upcoming finishing time we'll see on the lap. So there is Jaramillo in second. So barring something significant, I think we have our top 3. Coronado, Jaramillo, and Pastrana. And here's Coronado. 1 lap to go.
The sweet sound of that bell. I bet you that's what she's thinking to herself. Just one more. If I can just hang on, be disciplined, which she has been this entire competition, especially when it comes to her technique, she will be the gold medalist.
45.13.88 with 1 to go. 155.93 on that last lap. This is her coronation lap. As long as she's making mistakes, and doesn't look like she's going to. She's been so consistent with her technique. The only thing that's been any different is her turnover rate. And now she's picked it up again. I think she's going to celebrate this last lap and make it a fast one. Maybe not her fastest, but pretty fast. And that we just saw Jaramillo past the finish line. She's in second. She's about 150 meters back now.
See her arms are moving. There's real intention here for her with 200 meters left in her race. You can see the urgency to just get to that finish line. She's not letting up at all.
So even though this is not going to be a PR or season best for Coronado, her best was on the road at 47.05. Right now, Jaramillo is on pace to break her own personal best and overall PR from last year. So great race for Jaramillo, and here's our leader and likely winner. You know, even with a lap to go, last year we saw this at the World Junior meet where a lady who was in second got DQ'd, unfortunately, on that final lap. I'm not certain this is going to happen here. I think Coronado's so good at her technique, so consistent. She's going to finish this off with 50 meters to go and be the champion, first Bolivian champion in this event. And I think she's happy about that one.
And now she can gallop. Now she can run, grab that flag, get a hug and a kiss. Mission accomplished.
That is a happy camper.
And no worse for the wearer. Look at that.
Big smile. Always thought it was a grimace for, I don't know, 40 minutes.
Yeah,
it's been
felt
tough.
Right from the very beginning, I felt like she's had that expression on her face, which gave us a sense of how much she wanted this.
Here we are with 50 meters to go for Jaramillo of Ecuador. She'll get second. And Coronado's got a smile for Jaramillo. I think they're going to join together in celebration. Oh, no. She's going to enjoy this flag for a while. It's nice and warm, I imagine. Her body's warm, but I imagine all the, any wind out there with probably any sort of amount of accumulated sweat, she's probably a little cool. Here's Coronado. Here's Pastrana coming down the last 100. She will finish third. Yeah, they all finished, all the race walkers finished with a jog. They get across the finish line and they jog across. Nearly a PR for Pastrana in 48:57.09, just 3 seconds off her personal record. But Jaramillo, 47:47.61. She barely broke 48 last year. We just see here Mandy Roach, who's currently in 8th. Or actually, no, let's see. Roach is in 10th.
And she finishes in 49:27.88.
Yuri Hernandez, 4th, 49:27.88. You tell how tough this is. It wears them out. She broke 50 minutes. Here's Annalise Cisneros. You saw a little thing on here indicated differently, but she's in 6th. Not a finisher yet, but here, finisher, I think Guerra was 5th. 50:14:31. This is Anastasia Sanzana of Chile, who's been race walking very quickly last couple of laps. She passed Katie Mikta. Here comes Michelle Veras. Veras is currently in 9th. Cisneros on the far side is currently in 6th. Mikta in 7th. You can see here Mandy Roach in 10th. She'll have another lap to go. And you can see on the far side there's Annalise Cisneros. Emily comes in with a best of 50:54. That's a road race best. So let's see if Annalie can beat that. I think she's pretty close here. So the native of Elgin High School in Chicago, Illinois. She'll get 6th place here at the Pan Am Juniors. 52:03:26. There's Anastasia Sanzana. She'll be 7th, followed by Katie Mikta in 8th. Sanzana really picked up the pace at the end. So Sanzana 7th, Mikta 8th. Mikta 52:45.96. She came in with a track best of 52:48. So new track PR for Katie Mikta. Up now, Michelle Veras. Veras will finish 9th. Just one disqualification from this race, Evelyn Inga. Anastasia Sanzana was close to getting DQ'd, but she didn't get DQ'd. Here's Mandy Roach. She'll have 2 more laps to go. One of the keys to Canada's development in race walk is a large number of youth race walkers. And she's one of that group. You can see the hurdles for the multi-event starting to be put out. First up will be the men's 110-meter hurdles for the decathlon, followed by the women's 100 hurdles. Start time scheduled for 10:45 for the decathlon 110 hurdles, 10:55 for the women's heptathlon 110 hurdles. Mandy looks like she's going to get a PR also. She started out the day with a seed time of 60:12, so I'm certain she'll be happy with what's undoubtedly going to be a nice PR for her. Sanzano, we just saw a little bit ago, finished 7th. She went under 2 minutes for a lap at the very end. She was catching a Cisneros, but had too far to go. So here's Mandy Roach. She gets to the finish line. She'll have 1 lap to go. This will be a new personal record for her today, unless anything unfortunate happens.
Here's Mandy Roach. Entering her final lap.
This is a tough event.
She looks down at her watch. She knows she's on personal best pace. Like you said, she stays disciplined, watches her technique. She will cross the finish line with a new personal record.
And break 60 minutes at the same time.
Exactly. That's a huge marker for her.
Tell you the last lap for Coronado, 151.24. Yaramillo, 152.10. So, if you don't believe they have kicks in race walk, you just got to look at the stats. Every race we've seen, see significant improvement on that last lap. They know how to speed up without getting caught or getting in trouble or making mistakes in their technique. So, I'm certain they were charged up, even though the places were pretty solid. 47.05 for Coronado, 47.47. Yaramillo, 48.57 for Pastrana. How much does it mean, when you get to that last lap, even if you have it covered? I know you had the hurdles, but just from people how much does that mean to be that close and but give it all your all, even if you're way out ahead?
Well, I think the main thing here, these young athletes are gaining experience. So, with Mandy here finishing up, she will take this. She's leaving with a personal best, personal record, and she's going to take this, and this is going to give her momentum as she goes to her next competition, as she develops. And there's a lot to be said about just being emotionally engaged and satisfied after a performance, and I think this is what we're going to see. You see the big smile on her face already before she crosses the line. She is ecstatic with that.
And jogs after she hits the finish line.
That's right. So very satisfying finish to this competition for Canada's Mandy Roach.
58.29.79 unofficially. So slices almost 2 minutes off her personal best. So even if she didn't finish in the top 3 in medal, this has got to be a satisfying moment.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And like I said, she's going to take this. She's going to sleep well tonight. Every meal she has is going to taste extra good. And, we'll see Mandy Roach at her next competition feeling that much more confident and sure of herself when she lines up.
Official results now. Stefany Coronado, 47.05.11 in first. Second, Carla Jaramillo, 47.47.61. Third, Daniela Pastrano, 48.57.09. Fourth, Yudi Hernandez, 49-27-88. Fifth, Letty Guerra, 50-14-31. Sixth, Annalise Cisneros,